Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1980-83 Fall League Super Series World Series preview video. The Philadelphia Phillies win the National League for the second year in a row. They lost the World Series, Super Series, to the Expos a year ago. They're coming back trying to erase a devastating four-game sweep. And they will face the very first expansion team ever to appear in a finale World Series, winter or summer. The Ohio Players, who were a former laughingstock in this league. It's taken them 8 years to right the ship in Ohio. A long time for that to happen. They would have the first pick in the draft in the 72-75 season, and also in the 73, 74, 75, 76 season. So it's rather remarkable for Ohio to be in this position. We got the stats. We'll start this preview with looking at the rotations. Ohio has the home field. Games 1 and 2 in their park, a day off. 3 more games in Philadelphia, a day off, and then the last 2 games back in Ohio. Ohio has Mike Norris. Philadelphia has Steve Carlton. They are tied together for 3 starts. Games 1, 4, and 7. Game 2, Vida Blue, Eric Schall. Game 3, Joaquin Andahar, Ray Burris. Game 5, Vida Blue on 3 days rest. Dick Ruthven will get a start for the Philadelphia. Andahar for Game 6. Eric Schall gets an extra day off. We'll pitch that game before Norris and Carlton pitch Game 7. So that will be your pitching matchups for the World Series. I just want to call it World Series because it seems weird calling it the Super Bowl Series, but it's Super Bowl weekend, so that's the reason why. Let's look at stats. How did the teams get there? Here we have stats. Ohio, we'll look at them first. 26-10. Last year, they were 13-16, and that was a 5-game improvement over the previous year. That brought their average up by 50 cents, and have individual performances noted here. But let's look at the stats for this season. Look at the gaudy 301 batting average. 35 homers in 36 games. Dick Davis 370. Hendrick 368. Easler 350. Madlock 346 with a 341 card. Pena even overachieved. 324 with a 296 card. Overachievement here with that. Overachievement there. Battle on par there. Overachievement there. Overachievement there. All right, Jerry Mumphrey's in a slump. Don't want to dog on Jerry Mumphrey, but he's the only Ohio player who underachieved. He's a 336 hitter hitting 245, and Gary Alexander's his utility catcher. Pitching, Victor Cruz, lights out closer, 9 saves in 18 innings, ERA of 1. 3 pitchers with ERA below 2, all in the bullpen. 4th member of the bullpen is Grant Jackson, who has really struggled. That's the guy to exploit if you're the Phillies, the lefty reliever for the Ohio Players. Grant Jackson with a 6.48 ERA. Top 2 guns. Mike Norris, Vida Blue, former Oakland A's, here in Ohio. Vida Blue's been here for the long run, folks. If you've been following the Summer League, after 1971's MVP performance with Oakland, he was traded to the Ohio Players in a blockbuster deal. Really has struggled. But now, 8 years later, into his 80 era, with his 1980 card, he's 8-1. Mike Norris is 8-3 with his. They're both in their 1980 cards. Andahar threw a shutout last time we saw him in Jackson Todd. ERAs aren't spectacular. When you're scoring this many runs, it doesn't have to be. They've scored 221 runs. They've given up 139. That is domination. They should probably be better than 26-10. And again, if you're wondering how in the heck did Ohio get this roster, They got Dick Davis cheap and kept him. They got Hendrick in the early 70s, kept him. Easler, they got him cheap. Waited for him to bloom in 80. Matic was let go after a sub-300 season by the Pirates a few years ago. Ouch. Pena, they got him cheaply. Treason, the Reds didn't want him, nor did the Expos for whatever reason. Rodney Scott was a 220 hitter. So they got a lot of these guys cheaply and held on to them, waiting for their monster year. And this is the monster we've been waiting for. Now the Phillies are no stranger. They were in the World Series a year ago. Matter of fact, a year ago, the Phils were 26-20, losing the World Series. And we have stats for them here of a year ago. So they're coming back. They got swept in the World Series. So they finished 26-20, which means they were 26-16 at the same point. 26-20. This year, same point, 25-11. Pretty close. Phillies hitting 293, 348 ERA. Numbers very close. You see, should be an offensive World Series. 301 and 293 hitting clubs. Look at the ERAs. 337, 348. Very close. Very close. We have Tug McGraw matching up versus Victor Cruz. Name recognition for McGraw, statistics for Cruz. McGraw has had his moments. He lost the game, blown some saves. Still a 266 ERA. 135 whip shows he's not as dominant as we think he would be. Brewster doing a nice job in relief with Ray Searage. And just like Grant Jackson, the one reliever struggling for Ohio, Dick Tidrow, who was a Cub, struggling as the one reliever for the Phillies with a 7.20 ERA. They don't have a pair of 8-game winners. You got lefties just 4-2, but he's backed up with some nice win-loss records out of Eric Schall, Ray Burris, Dick Ruthven. Burris and Eric Schall ERA are right around 3. The Philly offense. Gross is 100 card, it's 359. Herndon's 288, sitting 353. Lonnie Smith right on cue, 339, 347. Gary Maddox overachieving. Mickey Klutz overachieving. Boa overachieving. You get the idea when you get to the World Series, folks. Most of your players are probably overachieving a bit. But here's a batting average underachievement, but not home run production. Schmidt's only hitting 275, but the slugging's there. 25 extra base hits in 36 games, 15 dingers. Pete Rose only hitting 272, McBride only hitting 264. So you see the Phillies have had some of their star players having so-so years, yet they're right back in the World Series. Let's get to the Game 1 lineups, and then we'll pause it, and we'll have the World Series coming up in a few days. Steve Carlton versus Mike Norris. This is your lineup. The Phillies are going to go with the same lineup they used in vanquishing the Astros and Nolan Ryan in Game 5. Same lineup. Lonnie Smith will lead off in left field. Smith hit 339 with his 1980 card. Larry Herndon bats second. In 1981, he hits 288 in his last year with the Giants before going to the Tigers. Pete Rose bats third. 1981, he hits 325. Rose's best years in Philly are in 79 and 81, though they go to the World Series in 80 and 83. Pretty weird. Batting fourth, 1981, Mike Schmidt, the biggest slugger in the entire carryover league on an annual basis. Batting fifth, Gary Maddox hits lefties very well with his 82 card, a 284 hitter. Batting sixth, designated hitter is Keith Moreland, 314 hitter, only the second best rookie on the 1980 Phillies behind Lonnie Smith. Batting seventh, second baseman Rob Wilfong, a free agent, a lefty with power at second with great defense and a little bit of speed. Batting eighth, also great defensively, Larry Boa. The whole Philly defense is outstanding. Boa's a 2 at short, great top line, A, B, B, 16 runner, 283. And batting ninth, mostly to slow down some of the speed on Ohio, is -2 arm catcher Steve Yeager, signed as a free agent when Bob Boone was lost to the California Angels. On the Philly bench, you've got Greg Gross, 1983 Philly, hit 302. You got free agent Mickey Klutz, a 1980 utility infielder for Oakland, hitting .269. He is the Philly utility infielder. And Bay McBride normally would be your starting right fielder, but against Mike Norris really is tough on lefties, and they'll bring McBride in late in the game for defense, give him a day off to start the series. If it blows up in Philly's face, you could expect McBride to get the start in a rematch in Game 4 against Mike Norris. The rest of the Phillies, you got Eric Schall. You have Steve Carlton starting. Carlton's a 24-game winner, 1980. Eric Schall, 1982, 10-game winner, 150 innings, 2.64 ERA. Ray Burris, 9-7, 3.04 ERA in the year of the strike. Dick Ruthven in 82, 11-11, 204 innings. Philly bullpen, Warren Brewster, 83, 3-1, 2.35 ERA, 80 innings. Ray Searage, New York Met in 1981 with a 3.65 ERA. You got Dick Tidrow, was a Cub in 1980 with a 2.79 ERA. And of course, Tug McGraw in 1980, the brilliant 147 earned run average, the best year he would have after leaving the New York Mets. Now, the Ohio players. Against a lefty, leading off will be Rodney Scott. 1980 hits .224, but he hits lefties better than righties. Great base stealer. He often hit and run when they had Ron LaFleur, Tim Raines leading off. Batting second, Jerry Mumphrey, his best year, 1983, hits .336. Batting third, a batting champion, 1981, Madlock hit .341, second to Joel Youngblood's .350. But probably Madlock's second best year offensively. He hit .354 in 1975 for the Cubs. Batting fourth, Dick Davis, a .333 hitter in 81 for the Phillies. Batting fifth, it's George Hendrick. 1983, 18 homers and a .318 average. He's going to play first base instead of right field. Tony Pena batting seventh, catching in 82, .296 with 11 dingers. Batting eighth, your right fielder is Tito Landrum. 82, St. Louis Cardinal. Would get a World Series ring with them. Get a World Series ring in 1983 for Baltimore. It's .278. And batting eighth, designated hitter Gary Alexander, a Cleveland Indian. It's .225. Batting ninth, your shortstop Julio Gonzalez, another St. Louis Cardinal of 1982 who got a World Series ring with a .241 average. On the bench, dangerous lefty Mike Easler, brilliant 1980, .338, 21 dingers. Jerry Manuel, 1981, he hits just .200, but it's all against right-handed pitching with plenty of power. And Dan Driesen, still with Cincinnati in 1980, and they let him go, and the Ohio players said, "Come here, guy, come here. We need you in the same state, but across town." Now, the Ohio starting pitching, my goodness, Mike Norris, the brilliant 1980, 22-9, 2.54 ERA, 284 innings, amazing curveball, amazing movement with his curveball. Sadly, his career falls apart after 1982. Vida Blue, 1980 card for Vida. He's a 14-game winner for the Giants, 297 ERA and 224 innings. Joaquin Andujar, 1982, St. Louis Cardinal World Champion. You're seeing where this Ohio player is finding their heroes from championship pedigree. 82 Andujar, 15-game winner, 247 ERA, anchoring that world champion Cardinal team, 266 innings. Then you have Jackson Todd, 1981 free agent from Toronto, just 2-7, 98 innings pitched. Bullpen, Jesse Jefferson, 1981 California Angel with a 3.62 ERA, 77 innings. Roy Lee Jackson, 1981, a 2.61 ERA, 62 innings from Toronto. Grant Jackson, last reasonable inning from the Pirates. Last reasonable performance for the Pirates in 1980. He's 8-4 with a 2.92 ERA and 71 innings. And Victor Cruz, we saw his stats having a great year as a closer. Did close for Cleveland in 1980 with a 6-7 record, 3.45 ERA in 86 innings. And that is your World Series preview. We'll have that coming up. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you for the World Series.